The cruise line's all-inclusive promise is a lie. As soon as you board, they can't wait to try to hustle you out of thousands more. They use their authority to manipulate us. Their goal to scare us, waste our time, and extract more of our money. I'm going to show you how to spot, and more importantly, how to avoid 5 of the biggest onboard cruise ship hustles. And while the last one is a money pit, it does have a silver lining. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you fresh cruise advice, money-saving hacks, and secret strategies the cruise lines don't advertise. Years ago, when I went on my first cruise, everybody in my party wanted to attend these port shopping talks. And these are usually done before every port of call. They show up in your schedule, your daily planner, and they're a complete waste of time and money. For starters, I really don't like being lectured on where to shop. And the cruise line personnel who are putting on these shopping talks put themselves in a position of authority or knowledge, as if they know something you don't know about these stores and where to shop at the various ports. But the truth is that every single store or shop that they're talking about or recommending, or that they put on their little maps that they hand out, has paid the cruise line money to be on that map or to be on their list. It's advertising, and it goes beyond this. A lot of times at these shopping talks, they'll give out small little gifts or incentives for you to go to a store and receive a gift. They'll hand you a card that says you'll get a free gift for checking out this or that store. But once you go in there and hand them that card, you're hit with high-pressured sales tactics. And the cruise line staff will get a commission for sending you to that store. And then they'll try to scare you a little bit by telling you that it's unsafe if you don't stick to their map and the stores on their map. But is it really unsafe to go to a store across the street or one street over? If something ever feels unsafe, don't go, obviously. But at a lot of these ports, there are many more local shops than what appear on the cruise line's shopping list. And you can do that exploring on your own. Probably find those same gemstones or diamonds or whatever it is you're looking for at a better deal off the cruise line shopping list. Now, they'll also try to scare you by telling you that if you shop at stores not on their list, that you'll have no guarantee for the quality of that item. They'll tell you that the stores on their list, they guarantee the quality. But the truth is, if you get back home and realize it's not exactly what you thought, even if you bought it from the cruise line's recommended store, who are you going to call to get reimbursed for that? And for a lot of cruisers, this next hustle turns what should be an amazing experience into something a bit uncomfortable. A lot of times when we go on a cruise, my wife likes to book a massage, and that should be a pretty relaxing experience for her, right? Well, it usually starts out that way, but on the cruise ship, by the end of it, she's facing high-pressured sales tactics to buy hundreds of dollars in white-labeled products that she probably doesn't need, probably won't use, and if she did need, could buy back at home for a fraction of the cost. The cruise line employees are trained not to take no for an answer, and they get paid huge commissions for selling these products that the cruise line makes big money off of. So they push it pretty hard, and it kind of ruins the end of your spa treatment. Cruisers who are strong will say no up front before they even start the massage or whatever it is you're getting. Let them know, hey, I only paid for this and I am not going to buy anything else. Usually, if you say that in a strong way in the beginning, you'll avoid the headache at the end of your treatment. And then watch out for the other spa scam, which is the free raffle. Now, cruise lines will offer a free raffle to get people into the spa and get them looking at the services. And they'll ask them to fill out a card and possibly win a free massage. Well, more people win than you think because it's a ploy. They want to get you into that massage, and it's not a long one. It'll be listed maybe as a 30-minute massage, but it'll really only be 15 to 20 minutes, at the end of which they'll be trying to tell you other massage techniques you need to pay for because they noticed this or that when they were working on you, and other products that you must buy to improve your skin and other things that you need it for. So be careful. These raffles are there to get you in there so they can upsell you and upsell you more. And if you really want a relaxing massage during your cruise, try getting it at a beach on one of your ports of call. A lot of these beaches, and even in some of the ports, they'll offer massages for a lower price, and there won't be all the upsells at the end of it. You can get a massage on the beach in Mexico in a lot of cases for between $30 and $40 for an hour-long massage. And the spa is definitely not the only place trying to lure you in with freebies. One very long-standing tradition on cruise lines is the art auction. And if you've ever been to one of these, you will hear the word investment repeated over and over again. They're going to tell you what you're getting if you purchase a piece of art is an investment, that collectors on land are paying a lot more for these pieces, that the artist's value is on the rise. They'll tell you this is going to appreciate over time. What they don't tell you is that many of these pieces are mass-produced. The prices are inflated, and if you got them appraised on land back home, it probably would get appraised for a fraction of what you paid for it. When you see an art auction on a cruise line, they try to bring you in with free champagne and other giveaways. And if that's what you want to go for, by all means. But I highly suggest you don't purchase any art on the ship. For one thing, the companies offering this have nothing to do with the cruise line. They're a separate company. So if you have an issue later on and you call up the cruise line, their hands are washed clean of it. This is a company that does their own business. They just are partnered with the cruise lines. And some cruisers tell me about some unsavory practices that these art auctioneers use, such as bait and switch. One cruiser told me that he bid on a piece of art at an auction, and he bid $2,500. And then when he went to pick up his painting, they couldn't find it. They said that it had already been sold. What? How is it already sold if this was an auction and only one person can win the bid? And they tried to get him to buy another piece of art at a much higher price. I think it was around $8,000 or so. Well, good thing he refused that outright, because that was probably even more of a profit maker for the art auctioneer. It's a good thing he turned that down, because that was probably one of the worst deals ever. Stay away from these art auctions because the tactics they use are not always above board. And if you really are in the market for some artwork, you can probably find better deals on land. Speaking of deals, we maintain an updated list of the best cruise deals you can book right now. If you'd like a copy of that list, just comment "deals" in the comments section and I'll email it to you. Another long-standing staple of cruising is jewelry, or diamonds and gemstones. And this is a big deal on the ship as well. You've probably seen the signs, 70% off today. You can't find this for less on land. But is that really true? When they offer these huge discounts, usually that original price that they're discounting is completely fabricated. The item would never or could never sell at that high price. If you got the Wi-Fi package, just go online and check out a similar item and see if you can't find a much better deal online. I'll bet you can. And imagine if you buy something on board and you bring it home and it's a high-priced item. And you get home and you realize it's not really worth what they said or what you thought. How are you going to return that? And then I've heard from other cruise passengers that sometimes they'll use some unsavory tactics in the shops to try to convince you that you have to pay for something. There is a watch scam that has been going around for some time now where a passenger was looking at a watch and it didn't quite fit, and the salesperson said, "No, well, the links come out. I'll adjust it for you." So he adjusted it, gave it to the guy to try on again, and sure enough, it fit just fine, but the guy really decided he didn't want to buy it. And so the store owner told him, "Well, I already took the links out, so you have to buy it now." Doesn't work that way. I usually just avoid all the shops on board the cruise ship unless there is a big sale on something like a bottle of whiskey that I know the value of and I know it's a good deal. And this last hustle, well, has a bit of a silver lining. I'll tell you about that next. But first, if you could take a moment and hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, it really helps us grow, and you'll get all of our cruising updates. One of the biggest profit centers on cruise ships is the casino. And you can drop a lot of money in there and lose a lot of money quickly. You can also win some money and earn some free cruises, which is the silver lining. But you have to be careful about how you do it. For one thing, there is quite a lack of transparency on how cruise line casinos operate. They self-regulate under the CLIA, not under a government authority. And while the CLIA claims that they follow Las Vegas standards, there are no independent audits or tests to confirm this on a regular basis. So when you're walking into a cruise ship casino, you're kind of stepping into a black hole. You don't know all the rules around you. For example, land-based slot machines have the odds publicized, and they usually pay between 92-97% payback. But on cruise lines, the casinos don't publish these statistics. It's estimated by some gamblers that they pay as low as 80%, maybe as high as 88%. Some say a little bit higher, but the truth is, nobody really knows. The transparency is higher at table games because those odds are posted and made public for you to know. However, the odds are typically less than what you could find if you look around at land-based casinos. For example, most cruise casino blackjack tables will pay out 6-5 on a blackjack, while you can find casinos on land that will pay 3-2 on a blackjack, which is much more favorable to the player. And there are a host of other odds among the table games that are less favorable to players on cruise lines. And then cruise line casinos will put in a lot of these so-called skill games with a grabber machine to grab a wad of cash or a push machine to kind of push money off the edge that you can win. But know that in the casino, those really aren't games of skill. There's a luck element involved. And even with the best skill on certain pulls, you have no chance of winning because the machines are programmed just like slot machines are. And lately, there has been an overload of social media content encouraging cruisers to gamble a little bit to earn free cruises. But this is not what's typically going to happen if you're just a recreational gambler. If you're going to go in the casino and drop $20 today and $20 the next day, or $40 or $50 even, you're not going to be seeing those offers roll in. And the offers that do roll in on the lower tier typically aren't that great. As an example, I have a friend who earned a free cruise certificate after playing only about $400 in the casino. Now, he didn't necessarily lose all that money, but he put that much through the machines. And he got an offer for a free cruise, but it was only for one person. And so if he wanted to bring somebody, they had to pay, and then they both had to pay the port fees. And the dates were non-negotiable. They were offers for specific times, and if they couldn't make those times, the offer goes away. But if this is what you like to do and you are a gambler and you're going to spend hours in the casino and you're going to play $1,000 to $3,000 through the machines or through the tables over the length of your cruise, you're going to get some pretty good offers. That's when the cruise lines might really start to reward you. And that's the silver lining. You can get some decent deals if you are a gambler. But for the average person, don't believe what they're telling you on the internet. If you're not willing to throw down hundreds or even thousands of dollars, or at least cycle that much through the play, you're not going to get these kind of offers. And if you're lucky enough to get an offer for playing a few $100s, it's not going to be a very good one. Keep in mind that cruise lines are not and do not have to be transparent about how they give out these offers. And with cruising on the rise, more ships being booked full, there's less free capacity for them to give away. And if that happens, or as that happens, they'll change the way they give out these offers. Because the only reason they're giving out the free offers is because they have an extra room to give. If they have a full fare paying passenger for that room, it doesn't matter what you spend in that casino, they don't have it to give to you. So now that you can avoid the hustles and relax on your cruise vacation, there are 5 scams that rip off cruisers before they even book their fare. I'll tell you how to spot those right here.